channel. Welcome to Deer Corner. I'm back here on new property and we picked up. We call it the J ground, but it's bordering my property and getting back in here before it gets hot today. Get to looking around. But I just want to go through, explain a few things. I'm back here at the end of the old logging road. When he purchased the ground, he went ahead and had the plateau, the top of it, logged off. And his expectations were he's going to go ahead and build a house back in here, which never did happen. But here we are. I'm going to walk on down through here. I had to skid steer back down in here, opening some of this up so we get in and out. But it's, I want to keep this road back through here open so we can get in and out and have access all the way to the back of the property. Now back behind us, where all that was cleared off a couple of years ago. Now 15-20 years ago, I would have opened that up, cut some shooting lanes, put a box stand, a redneck stand up, and hunted up there. Now that's before I started really learning on everything. And as you can see here, how thick it is coming off of that. Up there. It's just thick. Then it starts opening up. Now this is what I look for today. So you would put your stand up there, shooting lane, and now here's Jay had an old stand. He's got an old stand right there. He hunted back in here, but I believe he was hunting in the wrong area, truthfully. And I hope to tell you why, show you why. But you would have seen deer up there out of a box stand. No doubt. You'd seen a lot of does and young bucks. Young bucks up there. But it's thick, and during the rut, it will be difficult for an older buck to breed in an area like that. So what I look for is fingers coming off of that ridge, off the plateau up there. I'm looking for fingers. And here's one right here that goes down into a bench. And this is what I'm looking for. Now the tip of this finger is steep, real steep. Once we get down here to the end, you'll see how steep it just drops off. Drops off straight to the creek. Now, for a mature deer, a deer won't go up and down that if you don't have to. You have to push him up and down that. He won't be pushed. But what I look for, now on the other side of that ribbon down there, that's my property on the other side, and this is the piece I picked up. So I pretty well know what's here through the years of hunting. But I'm going to go on down and kind of explain a few things here. I'm going to get down into that bench down here. Kind of walk through it, what I look for and how I'm going to hunt and why. Alright, down on this bench. And it's usually at the end of your fingers and or your points coming off the hillside. And right off the bat, I see where the deer have been walking it, going up and down this bench right here. Right up along that tree, got a nice little trail going. But this is what I want to bring up. This is the areas I'm looking for. Hunting this bench. There's a finger there, or a point coming out there, and the point we just come off of right there. And then comes down, and that's a saddle right here, what is called a saddle. Now, why they call this a saddle is because it looks like a saddle if you sit back and look at it. It just swoops down and up. A nice soft incline in between both of these fingers or points coming off of the ridge, the plateau up here. Comes down, has a nice little saddle right here. And that's what I'm looking for. Like I said earlier, the banks themselves coming off the tips are steep. Your mature deer won't use them. You have to force them up and down it. So they're going to use these saddles, easy sloping, coming up and down, to get on this bench. Now, like I said earlier, up there, especially during the rut, it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, for a mature buck to breed a doe in that. That buck's going to wait for them to come out of there into these areas here, up on the top of the edge of that plateau, in this saddle, or down in this bench, to breed. He's not going to waste his time trying to breed in that thick cover up there. He just won't be able to do it. Now, your younger bucks, and that's one thing I found out 15, 20 years ago when I talked about putting up a box stand, a redneck stand up there. I would have, but I would have seen a lot of young bucks. But your young bucks don't know that. They're going to learn through maturity that they're wasting their time up there. So they're going to come down here and go along the outside of it and cover on around. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for 2 points with a nice saddle. And like I showed you on that bank over here, deer are using that. Up and down, up and down. Now, grant you, you're going to try to use your wind to your advantage when setting up. Because I'm going to set up back here on a tree 15, 20 feet up and hunt this direction into the saddle, catching them coming or going, up or down, or coming around on this bench and going up. But your wind, you're going to use the wind to your advantage. But what I haven't heard at all on any video about hunting saddles, hunting these dips, these draws. Now, that way's east, south, north, behind the camera's west. Here, coming the end of November, 1st of December, we get a northern western wind, which will be coming into my face, which will be blowing, theoretically, it'll be blowing my scent up through this draw. Well, that's not the case. That's not the case at all. Now, if I can explain this to you, you have a 3 to 7 mile an hour wind, let's say a northwestern wind, which will be coming this direction. And that wind hits this draw. It starts hitting the hill and going up. Now, it is also bottlenecking that wind. That wind's also getting bottlenecked coming in. Now, the wind don't pick up speed, it picks up pressure. So, as the wind's coming in, it's picking up pressure. Now, when you pick up pressure, pressure causes lift. So there's nowhere for the pressure of the air to go. It can't go to the side because of the hill. It can't go down because of the bottom. The only place that pressure can go is up. Then if you're in a stand back here 15 feet in the air, 10, 15 feet in a stand, your scent blowing through here will hit the pressure and rise. It won't go down, it'll rise. So really, if you sit back and think about hunting saddles and hunting benches, you can still use the wind to your advantage, because my scent won't be going down to the ground, it'll be rising because of the pressure pushing it up. The second thing, since this is east, the sun will be rising southeast here. This hillside on my left will be getting the sun first thing in the morning. And as it comes up 9 o'clock in the morning, that hill will be heating up, which will cause a thermal. So the cool air from here will be rising up into that thermal. So my scent will be rising again, not only from the pressure of the wind pushing through here, but also from the thermal. So direction of the wind here, you can use it to your advantage. Very well hunting areas like this. But I'm just bringing you along. I'm going to be putting this stand up back down here, a climbing stand on a tree back here, and hunt this bench, and I want to hunt this saddle. The saddle is my key thing for a mature deer. Because like I said, that mature deer will not go up into that. It's just too thick for him. He's too lazy. He's going to catch the deer coming out. The doe's coming off of that from feeding into the area. And he's going to stay on the outside of it and walk this terrain. But I wanted to show you that, show you what I'm doing and how I'm placing a stand and using the benches, the saddles, the ridges, and the plateaus to my advantage, and how I use them and what I look for. So thanks for coming along, and I'm going to spin you around and show you the rest of this bench down here and where I'm going to place my stand. Now this is the rest of that bench down here. I got the creek coming right down through here. It's down today. Here lately, we've been having so much rain, and all the construction up north of here, this creek gets out. So placing the stand, I can't guarantee the creek won't get out. So I'm going to be placing my stand on that tree right here. Right there. That's where I could get up there. I get up there 25 feet. There are no limbs. I get right on up it. And I can hunt this bench. And like I showed you earlier, if you look down through here, you'll see how steep the points are on them banks. Down through there. And your mature deer won't use that. Your mature deer, like that, they're coming down right there. They're coming on down, crossing up, and going on up this other bench. So they're using these benches and the saddles. I'm just showing you a little bit of what I'm doing and what I look for today to get the bigger mature deer. Thanks for coming along. I hope I showed a little bit on how I choose where to put my stands and how I hunt today. Of course, there's an easy, quicker way. Get a box stand, like I said earlier, put it up on top, cut me some shooting lanes, and carry on from there. But getting down here and finding your benches, and your saddles coming off of these points, and hunting them, and using the wind to your advantage, hunting saddles. You're going to get your bigger mature deer this way. But it's sure quiet down in here. I think I'm just going to sit down for a little bit and look and watch and see what comes along. Go ahead, leave me a comment. Go ahead, subscribe. I'll get back with you. And if you're in the woods, be safe. Carry what you got. I got my water bottle, compass. I got everything with me. You want to be safe, because things can happen, and things do happen, believe it or not. And you all have a good day.